Milk, bread, and sleds. And right now, people all across the Piedmont and other parts of North Carolina are making sure they have everything they need to survive and maybe have a little fun, too, with the winter storm coming our way. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us here at 5 o'clock. I'm Neil McNeil.
And I'm Katie Nordine. We hope you like snow because it's looking more and more likely we are going to get at least a couple of inches right here in the Piedmont Triad. Fox 8 Max Weather Chief Meteorologist Van Detten joining us now with the latest forecast. Van?
You know, it's funny, you look at the radar right now and you see there's been some snow showers over us today, but this is not reaching the ground. The air is very dry, but I've showed this just in case somebody sees a stray flurry. Don't be shocked, it won't amount to anything, but this is from that disturbance that's coming out ahead of the main system we were talking about for last few days. This is the main energy that's driving down toward the Gulf Coast, and that's the reason for the winter storm warning that's now been issued. Earlier, they put out a watch. Now it's upgraded to a warning because of how close we are getting to the start time. Now, some counties in the north may go under an advisory, but Blacksburg still has theirs under a watch right now. Amounts should be lighter in the north, so I would think probably if it is anything, it'll probably be an advisory for these northern areas. Some counties are left out completely. This is an area that may get the least amount of precipitation. I still think there will be some, but probably not nearly as much as we see in the warning area, and that is for tomorrow night and early on Saturday. It's because of this storm system forming on the Gulf Coast. Of course, when storms come up from the south, they typically are the ones we watch most closely. Now, a lot of times for us to get our really good snows here, we like to see them just below Atlanta and then coming up in that fashion. This one's a little bit farther south, so that does put us on the edge. Makes it where part of our area misses out because they're a little too far removed. You can see it with time. Some of this on the northern edge, it looks like it goes farther north, but a lot of that's going to be real light and some of it's going to evaporate. But deeper into the storm, we get a better chance of accumulating snow. Then as soon as that gets out, we got to deal with bitterly cold air, and that's going to become an issue for folks as well. We'll have more on that in a second. First of all, our snowfall, lighter amounts to the north. In the Piedmont Triad, I got 2 inches north to 4 inches south, so a 2 to 4 inch swath in here. It could be more, but it could be less too. We're still 30 hours away from this really getting going, and therefore the track can still change a little bit. So this is just pretty consistent to what we had last night. I don't see many changes since that time. Then down to our south, we go to a 4 to 6 inch band to Randolph County, 6 inches plus in Chatham, back over toward Raleigh and Rocky Mount, where it looks like the sweet spot will be for more precipitation. It gets started tomorrow night through about midday Saturday, ending a little sooner in the west, a little bit later in the east, but it'll be ending west to east close to lunchtime. This is important too. Sub-freezing temperatures starting tomorrow night through Tuesday morning, and it looks like to me it's going to be about 87 hours that we're at or below freezing. So we're going to have to watch pipes and things like that. That's going to become an issue. Watch your pets. Make sure they have a safe place to be as well, in a warm place. Lows will be in the teens, possibly some single digits on Monday morning. A lot of that depends on how much snow cover we get, because more snow leads to colder temperatures on clear nights. I'll have more details on this system coming up in just a few minutes.
Well, from the highways to city streets, crews in Randolph County and Asheboro aren't taking any chances. They've been brining roads all day. It's work that really needs to be done in Randolph County.
If you just saw in Van's map, that area could get some of the higher snow totals in our coverage area from this storm. Fox 8's Alexandra Bush live in Randolph County right now with more on how crews are getting ready. Alexandra?
Katie, Neil, we are driving around Randolph County, and right now road conditions are ideal, but around this time tomorrow things might look a little different. That's why the Department of Transportation began brining roads early this morning. Take a look from our live camera mounted on the front of this car. You can see some of the streaks in the road from the saltwater solution. Now, DOT isn't the only ones who are preparing. The entire county has their eye on weather. Spraying the roads, stocking up on goods, and making a plan to be ready for anything. Randolph County is preparing for a possible winter storm.
I'm coming from work, and my husband called and told me to stop at Lowe's and get the ice melt and a shovel if possible. He said they're calling for heavy snow.
Some shoppers in Asheboro are buying enough food and supplies to last a few days.
Batteries, soup, of course wine. I like to hit the deli.
And while they check out, county emergency management crews are keeping an eye on the storm.
We need to be ready so that we can lessen the impact of such an event on the county.
Ready to answer more 911 calls by adding dispatchers.
During a weather event, that may increase to 500 calls per day.
Cutting emergency response time.
Staff another ambulance and strategically place it in the county.
And making a game plan with local first responders and organizations, including the Department of Transportation. Salt mixed with water, the perfect balance to create the brine solution that is being sprayed on major roads in the county. It's an extra precaution that drivers will be happy to have if a snowstorm comes our way. The Texas Department of Transportation will continue working tomorrow. We just saw actually a truck drive by. They will continue to spray the roads tomorrow, and if it does snow, they will then start spraying salt, and if it snows a lot, they'll then start plowing, and if it continues to snow, now they're going to keep doing all of that in a cycle. Now the Department of Transportation told me here that they are expecting or are preparing for what could be a very long weekend.
All right, Alexandra, can you tell she worked in Texas before she came here? Yeah. All right, Alexandra, thank you.
Well, as for other cities in our area, Greensboro crews brined the major thoroughfares last night and are on standby waiting to be called to plow. Crews in Burlington plan to brine all of the main thoroughfares and secondary streets today, along with downtown parking lots and other areas. Winston-Salem crews also got to work today preparing for winter weather. They started brining roads around 10 o'clock this morning, and they're going to keep brining through tonight and into tomorrow. And get this, we are already starting to hear from some school systems about their plans tomorrow. Alamance Burlington is canceling all after-school activities for Friday, including after-school daycare at school sites. All Saturday activities are also canceled. Of course, we're going to continue to update you with any kind of cancellations that come into our newsroom, both on air and online at myfox8.com.
In other news today, police in Elkin helped arrest a man wanted on a child sex assault charge. We're talking about a man who wasn't supposed to be in the United States in the first place. Investigators say Anselmo Javier Jimenez was living and working in Elkin. He was also wanted by police in Omaha, Nebraska on a first-degree sexual assault of a child charge. Javier Jimenez is from Mexico and was living in the United States illegally. He's now in the Surrey County Jail and is due court next month.
Oh, they've watched drugs take and ruin the lives of friends and loved ones for far too long.
And now a community is taking the first of several steps to rid itself of the threat. And tonight's meeting comes just a week after Madison Bailey Marini died in a Taco Bell bathroom in King with drugs by her side. Marini was just 22 years old.
And then nearly a month ago, police say a 19-year-old killed a 17-year-old in a drug-related shooting. Fox 8's Michael Hennessy takes a look at the beginning of this community's battle plan.
So these are people that I know, and I've seen them grow up.
Mike Marshall is just one person who knew 17-year-old Chandler Aaron Gillum.
He was just a super tough kid and good kid. I've never heard anybody say anything that would lead me to believe that, he would be headed down that direction.
A direction that led to a dispute between he and 19-year-old Roger Dale Phillips III, a young adult who played on Marshall's son's basketball team and is now an alleged killer, accused of shooting and killing Gillum. Police say drugs were involved.
This isn't a faraway problem. It's a up-close and personal problem.
Less than a month after Gillum's death, 22-year-old Madison Bailey Marini was found dead of an apparent overdose in this Taco Bell in King. Her death sending shockwaves through the Stokes County community and beyond.
It's scary, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, it makes me mad.
Marshall and others, fed up with watching their youth battle drug addiction, are getting ready for a war, and they're going to need all of their allies to help.
Everybody's got to do a little bit more. I haven't done enough. The police hasn't done enough. The DA's not done enough. The legislatures aren't doing enough. The teachers aren't doing enough. Whoever, doesn't really make any difference. We all have got to do more.
Tonight, they'll begin to lay out a plan, starting by identifying what the problem is, who's doing what now, and who can do what in the future.
When somebody dies here, when somebody gets hurt here, when something happens to somebody here, you may not know them personally, but you certainly know someone that does.
Their hope is to plan an open forum in coming weeks for all to come. In King, Michael Hennessy, Fox 8 News.
And of course, as soon as the date is set for that public forum, we will let you know.
It's Roy Cooper's first fight against the Republican-led legislature since taking over as governor of North Carolina. And at the center of this fight, a law just passed last month. State lawmakers passed Senate Bill 4, and then Governor Pat McCrory signed it into law. It's the one that changes the way elections are run in the state. Previously, there were 5 members of the State Board of Elections, and the majority was determined by the party of the governor. The new law creates an 8-member board with an even split of Democratic and Republican members. Half would be chosen by the General Assembly. Governor Cooper's team says this is an unfair power grab by the legislature, but the Republican team says this protects elections from being run by a chief executive with too much power. It's going to be up to a 3-judge panel to decide the outcome of this case.
Well, President-elect Donald Trump has promised to build a wall on the Mexican border, and now one sheriff thinks he's got just the people for that job. And top intelligence officials are weighing in on the alleged Russian hacking, why they are making a case for the public to have more faith in U.S. intelligence agencies.